everyone. Good morning, and welcome to our first episode of Beyond the Game. It's a new podcast I'm starting up on my YouTube channel where we're talking to future college athletes in high school now and just seeing what got them there and what we're seeing for them in the future. I'm joined today by senior quarterback at Greater New Bedford Vogue, Nick Boucher. He's committed to Westfield State University for football. Nick, thanks for joining in. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, no problem. So we're going to start out way at the beginning, if you can remember it. Where did your football career originate? How did it get started?
I started when I was 5 years old. My dad grew up playing football. He played all the way through. So he got me into DYFL, which was like the Pop Warner, and I've been playing ever since.
So I'm guessing that some of having that family doing football as well kind of continued down to you.
Yeah, yeah,
So besides him, did you have any other family members that played football?
yeah. My uncle played football in high level. My cousin Mark played football. My cousin Alex. Pretty much my whole family on the boys' side played football, and that was like the last one.
So we see a lot of times at the high school and sometimes at the youth middle school level too that we see two-way players, like you might have one on the offensive side, one on the defensive side. What was your go-to maybe on the defensive side?
I played linebacker up until senior year.
That surprises me. Because like you're fast, you're speedy. I get that, but you're not the tall, like you're not 6'5", three
Yeah.
hundred pounds out there. What made you choose linebacker or quarterback? Was that a coaching thing or was that something you grew up with?
I grew up playing linebacker because that's where my dad played. And then
Okay.
when I got into, I think, seventh grade, they needed a quarterback. So my coach moved me to quarterback, and I've been there ever since.
So when did you get the starting job at New Bedford Folk? I'm guessing you did the freshman and JV levels, but when did you get that starting spot on the varsity team?
I got the starting spot on varsity my sophomore year with 4 games left. We weren't really having a good season, and our offense wasn't producing. So they kind of just wanted to see what I could do. It was senior night, my first game. We ended up winning in overtime. So then after that, I just took over.
Now, with that stretch of schedule, like you said, you guys were struggling a little bit. Were you playing on the team maybe on that defensive side or another position, and then they just swapped you to quarterback, or what was your role going into that time?
My role going into that time was just JV quarterback and JV linebacker. I hadn't seen a varsity field until that game. So that was my first time stepping in.
Now, was it kind of like an out of nowhere situation, or was it like a week before where the coach would just say, okay, you're going to be the starting QB moving forward, and then you have like 4 days to practice?
I found out on Friday morning. My coach called me into the office and told me that I was going to be starting that night.
Did you have like nerves going
Oh
through?
yeah, it was awful. I didn't know what to expect. It was senior night, so I didn't want to let down the seniors. And it was kind of tough, but they all rallied around me, and we got the win.
Now, one trait that you have that we don't see much of quarterbacks in today's game is you're a left-handed quarterback. Is there any like advantage versus disadvantage that you have because it's not common?
Yeah, the advantage is it's a different spin on the ball, so it's harder for the defense to really read it because it spins opposite of a righty. But my receivers are used to it, so they're fine with it. The biggest disadvantage is usually your best tackles on your left side, which is my front side, so my blind side gets left open a lot. So I'm always kind of fighting pressure off the backside.
So, do you tend to go more left, or I'm guessing you tend to go more right when you're
Mhm.
looking at the ball, but then that causes some problems on the other side because maybe you get some of those like right personnel on the line. Hey, you might not see them coming because you're focusing more on the other side. But hey, you know what? I've seen you play. We're gonna watch some film in a second. You've got great zip on the ball. You've got good vision. Like it works out in the end.
Mhm. Yeah, it really works out with my receivers because they're just used to it now, so they know. But other teams don't.
Now, talk about some of the QBs that maybe you learned from, maybe were a little bit older than you on the varsity side, or maybe some QB coaches you learned from too.
Yeah, I didn't. We had my freshman year. We had a kid Cam Lynch. He was a really good quarterback. He was more of a running type quarterback. So was Jaden, the quarterback before me. He was more just run the ball, strong. So I kind of learned how to maneuver in the pocket a little bit from them, but not really in the throwing game. Mostly in the throwing game, I learned from Coach Mike McCarthy with M2 quarterbacks and Coach Charlie from QB School CA. He trains a ton of good guys, both of them great trainers. Really learned a lot from them. And then when I was younger, I was with Mike Pina with QB Velocity.
All right, we're gonna watch some game film now. This is gonna be one of the games that I was on the PA for this past year, October 4th at Somerset Berkeley. That's the screen. Can you see it?
Yep, I can see it.
All right, so I have two plays set up. This will be the first one we watch. Be a simple pass on the right side. And that was just a simple, maybe 10 yards down the field pass. And I said it before, you did maybe a one-step drop back and you lasered it right there. Who was that caught that? That was Ness
That's
Cox.
yep, yep.
So talk about because you guys had some good players. Like I remember it was Naz Cox, Harrison Cabral, Brian Antunes. You guys had a good group that you could go to offensively. Talk about that group.
Yeah, we had a really good group. Me, Harrison, another running back, Aiden Santos. He was more of like our fullback. Tyler Vaz, our tight end. We have been playing together since before freshman year. Like me and Harrison have been playing with each other since we were 5 years old. Me and Nas since we were like 8 years old playing against each other. Aiden from like nine and on. So we kind of all grew up together playing football, which was nice. So we had a good core, good family. It was more I trusted them and they trusted me to make the right plays. And then our whole entire offensive line this year was seniors. So we've been playing with them since freshman year, which was nice.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that. Does some of that chemistry translate from the JV and the freshman levels?
Yeah. There was a couple kids that started playing football their freshman year and they just really kind of gelled right in and picked it up. So it was good to see.
Well, that's awesome that you have that chemistry with everybody because 4 years altogether, like that's lifelong bonds. And maybe you
Mhm.
didn't connect with them all the time on the field, but off the field, you'll never forget those times. This is the next one. This is the fourth down and fourth. Now, this one was a batted ball, but I'll show you why I picked this play in a second. I was who was number four who caught that? I forget his name.
That's Midge Baptiste.
Oh, Demetrius. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but go back to like, hold on, let's watch this play again. So similar, maybe three-step drop back, and you were getting pressured in that pocket. It was collapsing a little bit. You were still able to step up though and see a man down the field. And maybe that was part of the play to throw it a little bit over McDonald's hand so it batted off and then Baptiste could catch it. But just talk about that play that you saw, because I think that's one heck of a play.
Yeah, that play was all luck. Um, Midge had signaled, you can see it beforehand. He was supposed to run a post, and he signaled to me that he was going to go a skinny post. So, because he had McDonald over top playing inside shade. So, our line kind of collapsed early, and then it was 4th and 4, and we really needed the conversion. So I kind of just was like, give my man a shot. And then when I went to go throw it, Finn was able to stop my hand from following through, so it just kind of lobbed up there, and luckily, Biz didn't pick it off.
Now, was that a design play by Coach Cruz, or was that just, okay, I'm desperate, I'm launching it down there?
No, that was just I'm gonna get rid of the ball and hope for the
Well,
best.
what the
That
hell was
wasn't
the play then?
the play was supposed to be to the other side to Nas and Physique. Well, Aiden O'Gara, the slot. They were running a sail concept, and then I just kind of saw Midge 1-on-1 and just hope for the best.
Well, you know what? Sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. That time it
It
did.
worked out.
Next thing I want to talk to you about is you're a multi-sport athlete at Vogue. You play hockey, you play lacrosse. Hockey side, you're a team captain, so that comes with a big leadership on and off the ice, but especially in that locker room to help the boys get ready. Talk about what it means to be a captain.
Yeah, being a captain is an amazing thing to be. And most times it's an honor to be a captain, but it's also there's more captains than you can name. So like for hockey, we had a ton of leaders on the team, all the seniors. So there was only three named, but everybody played a role. And it's more about just creating the bond with everyone and getting everyone around and letting the pieces fall into place. So for hockey, we didn't have the best season, but we had a brotherhood that's gonna last forever, and we ended up beating Bourne like on
I
senior
remember
nights.
that. Like Cam
So
stood on his head. I didn't watch it, but I heard he had like 40 saves or whatever it was.
42 saves, and we just kept going, and it was a great night. So like nights like that, you'll never forget. And it was that's what all the stuff that we did led up to.
And we'll talk about Cam Francisco real quick because he was on that hockey team that you were a part of. He doesn't get the recognition of some other goalies like this year, Gavin Rodriguez or Jackson Pomborg out in Bourne because the Vogue side, I believe it was like 8 or 9 wins throughout the last
Mhm.
4 years.
It's 8 wins.
He's still fighting his butt off in net. And I want to say the save percentage was right around 850 at some point during the year. Like high school
Yep.
level, that's still not easy to achieve.
Yeah, he started. He had never skated before his sophomore year,
Okay.
and we forced him to play because he was a catcher in baseball. And he said, "Screw it, I'll play." And then he fell in love with it, and he worked hard, and he really kept us in games this year. Even when we would lose, he would stand on his head. He averaged 40 shots on net a game,
Well,
which is insane.
you talk about the translation from baseball being a catcher to hockey goalie. Does that translate at all in your game? Because I would say hockey and lacrosse are two similar sports, like the way you shoot it, the way you pass it. Is there any correlation between the two?
For me, yeah, because I don't get to hit a lot in football, so I like playing physical in hockey and lacrosse. So in lacrosse, play literally everywhere. I play attack, fogo, defense, and in hockey, I play wing and defense. So it kind of translates to the fact that I know where I have to be and be on the ball, be on the puck. It's pretty much the same thing, stick on stick contact, stick first and then body. So it helps in that aspect.
Now, I do have to ask because you're going to Westfield State. They have a hockey program there. They don't have a lacrosse program on the men's side just yet. Are you going to have interest playing hockey there? Because you were one heck of a hockey player.
Thank you. No, I have no interest in playing hockey. They have club lacrosse,
Okay.
which is they're like Division II CLA, which is Club Lacrosse Association. So I'll probably end up playing club lacrosse as well as football.
Okay. And it's tougher in college. Like high school, it's easier to do 2 or 3 sports. College seems to be the time where you just pick one sport,
Hmm.
stick with it. So my guess is you're going to be mainly focusing on football once we get
Yep.
September.
Yeah. Yep. Definitely.
Yeah, so I do want to talk about Westfield State, though. There's a process that goes through the whole recruitment process and then officially signing the paperwork and committing there. What was your process? And you can list some of the other schools too that you had a chance to be recruited by.
Yeah. So my process started after freshman and sophomore year. The first college that reached out was Brown, which is Ivy League D1.
Yep.
Um, I didn't get into Brown, so that kind of threw a wrench in my plans because that's where I was going to end up going. And then Southern Connecticut State Division II program reached out. They were really recruiting me. And then about 3 months ago, the coach who was recruiting me got fired, so they took away my offer.
Uh, they can do that?
Yeah, yeah. So then I kind of was like, okay, I gotta open up my doors again. And I had talked to Coach Conti, and he wanted me to come up. So I went on a visit there and kind of fell in love with the place and how he ran his stuff. And then um, I told him about 2 days after that's where I planned to go, and then I committed 3 weeks ago. So it's been a pretty easy process for me. Other colleges that were recruiting me were amazing. Nothing bad to say about any of
Of
them. I
course.
was getting recruited all the way around. Went on visits to UMass Amherst, Wagner. So it was a fun process. It's very fun to get recruited and like go through the process, but stressful as well.
Yeah, and even just to check out like those D1 or D2, the schools, the football program itself, like not everybody gets that. Like it's an
Mhm.
honor to be able to see that. Correct me if I'm wrong. There was someone at Vogue that also went to Westfield State, or someone local,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Yeah. My lineman Dylan Rosario is
Okay,
coming with
yep.
me. I was able to coerce him into coming with me, so I'll have him next year.
Now, do you know if he had like some other options too? Like you said, you had Brown, Wagner. Did he have other offers too?
Yeah, he had gone offered by Framingham.
Oh, that's a good one. That's good.
He was talking to a couple other coaches. He was talking to Bryant, so he had other options too. And then I just kind of told him, "Hey, come look at this campus with me." And then he fell in love as well. It's a beautiful campus.
Yeah, I imagine it is. I'll pull it up real quick on my end. We'll see the football field. We got all the time in the world. We'll do it real quick. There it is. That's a really nice field.
Hmm.
And one thing I like is we talk about the fans a lot whenever we do these podcasts. It's two sides for bleachers too. It's not just one side. That I like. Nice track around it. Love the color scheme, the blue. It works perfectly.
Hmm.
Then let's see. Do we have just one of the actual campus? That's the one right there, right?
Yeah,
And what's your major going to be at Westfield State?
I'm going criminal justice on a pre-law track.
Okay, so what's like your end goal when it's all done?
I either want to work for the State's Department or be a district attorney. So,
That's cool.
yeah.
Like that's not easy too. Like there's going to be a lot of work that goes into that.
Yeah.
Um, Hold on. I'll share my screen again because I did want to take a look at what the potential schedule was going to be for you guys. They don't have it officially yet, but
Mhm.
we could go based off of last year. It's going to be similar teams. So they went 4-6 last year. They did win two of their last three. I believe they were also in the MASCAC division or
Yeah.
conference as well. So you're going to get like those Bridgewater State teams, Framingham State teams, Mass Maritime, UMass Dartmouth. So it won't be as heavy on travel as some other teams there, but hey, you know what? They got good competition in that conference, and whether you get the starting nod or you'll be watching from the bench for a few seasons, I think all in all, you're gonna have a good time, and it should be a really good season.
Yeah. Uh, they last year was pretty much a rebuild year. They had just got a new head coach. He had came in, I want to say a month before the season started. So the scores really didn't look that good, but they were learning the new system and trying to fill the pieces as they went. So this year they'll be a lot better. They're going to be senior heavy, which is nice to see. And I'm going right into a quarterback battle.
There
So
you
that's
go.
good.
We do have one matchup I saw, and it's one I'm really looking forward to because it's against my college here in Franklin, September 20th against Dean College. Dean College also similar. They just got a new head coach. There's a couple new coordinators as well. We didn't win a game last year. We're hoping to win a couple this year. We moved into the MASCAC conference too because our football conference, the New England Football Conference, just disbanded. Everybody moved on to a different conference. But
Hmm.
you guys are going to be coming over here to the Longley Complex, and I'm hoping I get to be on PA for it. I was the full-time PA spot for football last season. You get the starting nod, like that's full circle because I'll say it on. I've been doing 6 years of high school sports now. You've been one of my favorite athletes to watch.
Thank you.
So that would be nice to see you get in freshman year. Not Fitchburg State. Our Somerset Berkeley quarterback last year, he didn't play in the game, but having him at Dean on the home opener, like that was something cool to see. So, was there any matchup that you saw on your schedule that hey, maybe you're looking forward to? Because I know there were some lopsided scores, maybe a chance at revenge for some of them.
UMass Dartmouth, of course. I
That's
want to take them down. I got a couple friends going there, and that's the king of the hill right now in the conference. So if you can take them down, then you take that spot. So that's what we're gunning for as a program over at Westfield is UMass Dartmouth. We want to be the top of the MASCAC, and they're in the way.
That's also a local team compared to you
Mhm.
too. So it might have been like a school that you rooted for growing up, but that'd be something if you guys can beat UMass Dartmouth. They get a great program over there. We got a few final questions. I usually like to end off with a couple fun questions. You already saw the list, so you already know what I'm going to ask. First one is you talked about your cousin Mark. He's an assistant coach for us at Somerset Berkeley. What's it been like learning from him if you have learned from him?
It's been awesome. He's real. Me and him are really close, so he kind of taught me a lot at reading defenses. Him, his dad, and my dad. They're all minded and they're super smart at what they do. So it was kind of helpful playing quarterback to know the defensive side because I can read a defense probably better than any other quarterback in the area, which is a good thing because it kind of just helps me out. And it was fun to play against him this year. This was my first time
Yeah.
ever getting to play against him. So it kind of sucks that he took the win, but I gave his defense a run for their money, so that's what made me happy.
I saw the post game picture afterwards of you too. I
Yeah.
saw you waving to him when we were announcing the captain. So that's great that you have that bond and you get to play against each other every now and then. Coach Polson, great guy. I've gotten to know him over the last 6 or so months, and he's trying to get me a spot somewhere else for his Taunton Gladiators team
Yep.
over the
Yeah.
summer. So hoping I
My
get.
dad coaches that team.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
There you go. Next question I have from you is you took part in the Mr. Greater New Bedford Vogue. You were one of 13 people. How was it? What was the whole thing like? And did you win?
It was an awesome experience, and I got snubbed bad. I should have won, got snubbed. I came in fourth, but it was a fun experience. It was a great night. A lot of us kind of went out there at the beginning just to have fun, so it made for a great night. It
Now,
was a
who
packed
won it?
audience. But Nilson Andre, the kicker
Oh
from
yeah,
football,
yep.
yeah, I got snubbed. He shouldn't have won. I should have. I'll let
Now,
him know
is there
that.
like skits that happen during it?
Yeah, so you have to have a talent, and then you perform your talent in front of everyone. So my talent was singing "Party in the USA."
Oh, that's awesome. I'm sure you killed it. I did
Yeah, not
open mic
both of them.
once and I absolutely bombed it. So I ain't doing that if there's like ever a Mr. Dean College here on campus. But that's still cool. You got to participate in that. And they got like local photographers, newspaper writers that come
Mhm.
in and write up that sort of stuff. So that's getting your name out there a little bit more. So you'll take it.
Yep.
Next one I have is who's your favorite quarterback to model your game after? I know we said there aren't that many left-handed quarterbacks, but who's the one guy that you kind of model it?
Aaron Rodgers.
Okay.
I'm a Packers fan, so growing up, he was a guy, and he's just so smooth with how he plays quarterback. He's very smart. So I kind of just mirrored my game off of him, which was nice. And then as a lefty quarterback, I kind of fluctuated towards Tim Tebow in college,
Okay.
which was nice to see.
You're better than Tebow, man. Your completion percentage, your rating's higher than that. No, but Rodgers is a good one. One of the most talented QBs ever.
Hmm.
There's like that's a good choice. I know most people around here would say like Brady or just go with the basics, but Rodgers, that's a good choice. Next one I have from you are if you can know it off the top of your head, what are your top stats? Like the longest throw you can do, a 40-yard dash, stuff like that.
My 40-yard dash is a 4.8.
I believe that.
My longest throw in pads this season was 52, I want to say.
That's good.
But the longest throw I've ever thrown was over 60 with
And
no pads on, just throwing it.
what's the key? Like, because we have like a younger audience that watches this. What's the key to throwing that long ball even further if someone wants to improve on it?
Really getting your front foot in the ground, being able to rotate with your hips, because all your power comes from your hips. So it has to be hips first, then your arm. So if you can get the good rotation in your hips and kind of just hitch up into it and let the ball fly and be confident, you'll get it there. Like my biggest issue was I wasn't confident in it, so I would hold back. And then it would be a little bit too short. And then over this offseason, I was like, screw it. Might as well launch as far as I can. And it just came naturally. Everybody has the powers from the hips.
No, but that's good. And not every QB in high school throws 60 yards. So, and that speed, like, that's kind of like that dual threat ability, too. Like, that's going to be a good trait to have. We got two more questions left. Next one is what's your favorite moment or favorite play from your time at Greater New Bedford?
My favorite play There's two. One was against Somerset Berkeley. It was my post touchdown to Nas
Yep.
in between the two safeties. Because that I I think it was Finn. He got a good lick on me, and I kind of just got up and recognized I threw a touchdown. And then I kind of looked to the booth, and Mark had a picture of me from the booth
Oh,
after I threw it. So that was one of the moments. And then my favorite moment, we were down 2014 or 2015 with 2 minutes left in a state vocational playoff game against Blackstone.
okay.
And I kind of just saw Nas one on one. I changed the play from a run to a pass, and he ran a corner out, and I hit him in the end zone 40 yards, and we won the game because of it. So that was my favorite moment.
And these moments you'll take with you forever, especially that last one too. You said vocational championship game.
Semifinals.
Semifinal, yeah. But that's just great to have. And Voc schools are completely different than say like public schools, private schools, stuff like that. Like they get their own kind of tournament to participate in.
Yeah, it's kind of just a consolation bracket. If you, that's how I look at it. We weren't good enough to make the regular state playoffs, even though we should have. But we played in that and we made the championship, so that was fun.
What did you guys finish this year overall? Because you guys had a good team.
Yeah, we finished. I want to say 7-4 or 6-5.
Okay. Yeah, so it's like that strength of schedule, like that's always, and the win margin too. That's always the deciding factors and what goes into the eventual state tournament runs.
Yep.
You know what? It happens. It happens. And Voke's going to continue being on the rise soon. They're going to have a great future ahead of them. Last one for you. Any shout outs you want to give? This could be coaches, family, teammates. You go wherever you want to go with it.
Um, Shout outs. Coach Silva. He was my OC this year. He was great. Yeah, it was his first year as an OC at Vogue, and he was awesome. Kind of took over, gave me the opportunities I needed. Of course, my family. They got me to where I am, especially my dad, my uncle Kevin, and my mom. They kind of really helped me. And then Mark, I'm 0-1 against him right now, so hopefully I can get my get back at some point. And then you, of course, for having me on the show. So
Of
thank you.
course. No, I want to thank you for joining on because I always say it like it goes like the similar way with our camera operators for
Hmm.
our sports games. If we don't have the camera people show up, me, JJ, Carter, whoever's doing the games, we don't get to go over the air. So I do want to shout you out for bringing you on. And we're at a time now where content is going to be lower because I don't plan on doing broadcasting for a full-time season, full-time team throughout the spring. So I'm just doing this new podcast, and I had fun doing this. You have fun doing this?
Yeah, it was very fun. Thank you for having me, of
Yeah, I'll
course.
probably get some new people to join it. I don't know many other people personally. Like I wouldn't even say I knew you personally, but text one text away. That's all you got to do.
Yep.
If you liked what you heard, make sure to check out my YouTube channel. If you want to see more of Nick, make sure to check out his social media platforms. You want to share those out so people could check you out?
Uh, it's Nick BOUCH___ on Instagram. That's the only one.
Well, Nick, we wish you the best of luck at Westfield State, wherever
Thank
your
you.
football, lacrosse career takes you. I'm Keegan Hamblett signing off, and we'll be back with some more content next week. Have a good one.